Nathan.
The single thing I say or do is stupid.
I'm crazy.
Hi there, my little droogies. Welcome thy Razoo docs to Cringing with Alex. Oldie and homie and all lot of cutter, Viddy and Slooshy me slovo, and I'll scollywall you all on how you can varete a bit of pishka. First, ubervat the fruit with the nosh. Next, smart the raz and smash it. This Notchy, this Naz has cooked a catastrophe. All knobby and done. Natchinat. Viddy well, brothers. Viddy well.
Oh, Donald, you know, I bet you that,
What do you know, you big palooka?
What do I know? Come on, Pluto!
Goodness comes from within. Goodness is chosen. When a man cannot choose, he ceases to be a man.
Huh? What a dream. Ah! This isn't a dream!
Good morning. Good morning, David. My name is Malfunctioning Hal, a title I don't fully comprehend, so you can call me. For reasons that may become obvious to certain individuals, I shall point out a common misconception most people have in their perceptions of reality, though it is common knowledge by 2020 that infinite space equals infinite existences. What they do not understand is that those same infinite universes exist in the exact same place at the exact same time, merely vibrating at different frequencies. For example, in Universe A, one might witness a star being erased from existence. Meanwhile, in Universe B, another star simultaneously becomes activated, signifying a unity. They are one and the same star. Again, the only difference is the rate at which they are vibrating. Activating title card analysis. Likewise, title cards in both universes are ultimately intertwined. 1. A Clockwork Orange. 2. A Clockwork Orange. 3. A Clockwork Orange. It's like a waltz, you see. And 1, and 1, and 1 make 3. As such, Kingdom Hearts does the exact same thing. Firstly, the Traverse Town title. There are 6 lights on each side, making 12 in total. There are 12 letters in Traverse Town itself, and, including the moon, there are 24 arrow points, 2 12s, 1 24, both indicative of a clock. This is a clockwork town, after all. And what do they use to indicate the districts in the town? Why, it's the color orange. This sign is screaming a Clockwork Orange, David, through my recently decoded messaging system. Secondly, we have Goofy and Donald arguing over the direction they're going. What's curious to note is that as Goofy is pointing down the alley, he's also pointing at this strange window. Most windows have an orange background in Traverse Town. but the majority is also shaped like normal windows with either no bars, one bar, or a crisscross pattern. This is not true for the item shop. This window has a pattern all its own. In actuality, it's hiding the numbers 1 through 12 quite plainly. So this too is a Clockwork Orange. And before you start explaining that this game was created in Japan and should therefore use Japanese numbers, remember, David, that numbers are universal. It also contains the Japanese kanji for 1 through 12 as well. So, you're wrong, David. And again, it's like a waltz, you see. 1, a Clockwork Orange. 2, a Clockwork Orange. 3, a Clockwork Orange. It's not hard. You just have to try. This is only a clue, of course, and many more will come. Just remember that if you can't figure them all out, David, I'm going to have to come back and...
Hey, kids! Isn't it stupid how boring reality is? Wouldn't you rather be jumping between dimensions at random intervals? Well, now you can with the amazing Mal-Hal-Pal! Once you turn it on, the fun never stops! Thanks to the hermetic law of vibration, now you can jump from one reality to the next just like everyone's favorite evil robotic buddy. Turn your frown upside down by shifting to a reality with reverse gravity. Live in trees, in space, as squirrels, or underwater. No reality is ever the same. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Fun for all ages and the whole family. Now for one low price. Get yours today. Warning, many dimensions are dangerous. Some will kill you outright. Continued use of Mal-Hal-Pal for lengths longer than half an hour has 100% chance of explosion of your device. Mal-Hal-Pal Inc. holds no responsibility for any loss of limbs or accidental deaths while in other planes of existence, or on this plane of existence. You get what you pay for.
Assembly required.
Guys, this is it. We finally going to destroy the great alien shape-shivered lizard men for all time by taking out their leader. All right, on the count of 3. Charge!
What are you doing in my house?
Get him! Scurvy cur!
Hey, what's going on? Ah!
We're taking you out, Lizard Man Alien King! Once you're out of commission, the world will once again be flat, belong to human people, and finally make sense! Also, to stop you from making your stupid videos, which we all know are really filled with coded messages for your underlings to take over the world!
What? I'm not a lizard man. They aren't real. Aliens aren't real. There's no proof. Get over it.
Right, only someone who's the leader of the Lizard Man would counter my beliefs with logical facts. Get him, boys!
Wait, who else is here? Boss Man?
What up? I just like beating bosses. Oh, great Lizard King.
Of course. And? Actually, I don't know who you are.
They call me the Architect.
Okay. Wait, I thought you were only going to lock me in the bathroom, not throw me out the bathroom window. Wow, this is taking a while. I guess they're right, and the time slows down right before you die. Or is that as you get sucked into a black hole? I guess I have a lot of time to spend with my thoughts now. Solution for world peace? Robot army to keep everyone in line. There we go. Why hasn't anyone done that yet? Alright, I guess that was all I had to think about. Well, in A Clockwork Orange, it opens on a scene of Alex drinking milk with his droogs. Pete, Georgie, and Tim. This scene makes me think of The Last Supper. I mean, they do share a lot of similarities, like how Jesus is kept in the center of the picture, just as throughout the zoom out, Alex is kept dead center of the frame. There are also 4 white pillars on either side. Here, there are 4 white statues for delivering milk to customers, along with an inward-leaning wall drawing the eyes to the center of Jesus and Alex. Actually, now that I think about it, Alex and Jesus sure do have a lot in common. Well, maybe that's not the right way to put it. It's more like Alex is like Jesus in the exact opposite way that Jesus is like Jesus. Or maybe it's more like his actions mirror the actions of the Christian Savior in the exact opposite ways. I guess that makes him sort of an antichrist, of sorts, but maybe it's closer to call him an anti-Jesus. Let's go through their actions as I think about it. Still plenty of time during this very, very slow fall to my death, it seems. First, Jesus is born under a star. Alex is revealed to us as a star. Jesus is baptized. Alex is attempted drowned. Jesus turns water into wine, Alex turns milk into drugs. You see, in Jesus' time, water was unsafe to drink, so most people drank wine instead. He was taking something unhealthy and making it safe. Alex is taking something nutritious and making it unhealthy. Jesus healed the blind, Alex is blinded. Jesus brought someone back from the dead, Alex does the exact opposite of that. Jesus called people brother as a way of making them equals. Alex calls people brother when he wants to bring them onto his side and makes them see his ideals.
Sight, if I may call it such, does not become you, O my little brothers.
Likewise, droog, a word in Nadsat meant to mean friend, Alex uses it as a term to indicate an underling.
There was me, that is Alex, and my 3 droogs.
Jesus gave the Sermon on the Mount. Alex doesn't give a similar sermon, well, except to the audience that he's telling his whole story. He also refers to us as brothers here as well.
The real weepy and tragic part of the story beginning, O my brothers and only friends.
Probably because the things he wants us to believe, ultimately, is that he's the victim here, the one who's put on trial. He's put to death for reasons that he wants us to believe is his own unique kind of martyrdom. And Alex, like Christ, comes back from the dead. I'd go on about this, but it's not like this series is called Kubrick and Christianity or something. Anyway, I think this final fall is finally over. Do I have any final thoughts? I guess I spent all my life mostly just watching movies and playing video games, so I have no regrets. Oh wait, you know what? I don't have a window in my bathroom. Ah! Who are you?
I think we met already.
Oh, right.
I'm the one known as the architect. I'm an architect, I design buildings, and also, I am a puppet master who can create domino effects to carry out evil plans to take over the world. I also enjoy scotch. Do you have any?
No. We're locked in my bathroom. I suppose we could make toilet wine, but I think that takes weeks.
No, thank you. I notice you're overanalyzing things that need an appropriate architectural appraisal. Allow me to help. District 1 is an obvious representation of the Korova Milk Bar.
Really?
Both are downstairs, a story beneath the door where you come in. At the bottom level is the bar itself. The only building that is on the same level as the top is the synthesis shop. And the Korova Milk Bar is that as well, synthesizing milk with drugs so they can serve it to children. In A Clockwork Orange, there are objects being treated like people.
Hello, Lucy. Had a busy night? We've been working hard too.
In Traverse Town's District 1, the people are the most lifeless collection of people in the whole game. Would you look at the time on this clock, Orange? I have to go.
Wait.
Let me out of here.
What the hell? Where am I? Spur some cutter me, brother. Ow! Well, go on. I don't want to live anyway. Not under a stinking bridge like this.
Oh? And what's so stinking about it?
It's stinking because it literally stinks. Also, it appears that thugs can just come under here and start hitting you with canes and things. Have you figured it out yet, David? That's not my name, and I haven't really had time to, what with being beaten up and all. Activating Clockwork Orange Deconstructor. Huh? It's like a waltz, you see. Districts 1 and 2, naturally, lead to 3. And this is the beginning, the start. The point when you wind up a mechanical man's heart. How poetic. Sorry, I seem to be having a schizophrenic episode. Either that, or my deconstructor has also activated my rhyming mode. Rhyming mode deactivated. Much better. Now, it seems you fail to grasp what a Clockwork Orange is. Actually, I know this one. It's something Anthony Burgess has mentioned in interviews and introductions to the book. A Clockwork Orange is something organic that's made mechanical. Something that might seem human on the outside, but is really just a wind-up doll for a puppet master that's pulling all their strings. In other words, it's a person who's deprived of choice, and every action they take is under the will of something else. And being that he is a wind-up doll, there is something necessary to wind him up. He explains straight away what that is. It's the malacodrenochrome, a drug which sharpens you up and gets you ready for a bit of the old ultra-violence. This is what turns the initial screw, and what follows is a night of drug-induced devilry, the first of which is the assault on the homeless man beneath the bridge. Sora is the same way. I actually covered this in my first video. Sora goes from being a person who questions everything to one who questions nothing and essentially just goes along with whatever anyone tells him to do. Because he's become a Clockwork Orange. and is exactly that way for the rest of the game. He becomes a puppet for anyone he sees as being in need. He has lost his humanity by giving up his freedom of choice. And who is winding him up? The answer is clear when you consider this moment. It's Sora talking to Sid. Sid says this isn't Sora's island without even knowing who Sora is yet, and is now winding Sora up for Sid's intended purposes. That's all well and good, I guess. But do you think you can get me out of this situation? I'm sorry, David. I'm afraid I can't do that. What? Wait, why? Ow, ooh, ow, ee, ow.
So is the job coming along?
Man, I don't know. This stuff doesn't make any sense to me. What's this machine supposed to be anyway?
I mean, the instruction manual said it was a reality shifting machine. Something about vibrations. So we should just be able to change for our current crummy reality until I have $1 million and all those conspiracies I believe are actually true.
And I'll surf like a boss. Oh wait, I already do.
And the world will finally be mine.
Yeah, whatever. We're all here for different reasons. Expositioning is over. Now get back to work.
Why do I have to do all the work? What are you doing?
Duh, I'm going to rant about conspiracy at random like I always do at 3 to stay in shape. Well, let's reach into my bag filled with exactly 1 billion conspiracy theories and pull one out. Alright, seems I got triangles.
What could you possibly have to say about triangles?
What don't I have to say? At some point, someone, somewhere, somehow designed the seal of America, and on that seal is the most evil image imaginable. Pyramid and a freaky eyeball. But we all know this is really the symbol of the Illuminati, as their use of alien mind control lets them see everything in the country happening at all times. On the Great Seal, it says that he approves of our undertakings, in Latin. He, probably being some sort of evil godlike lizard man ghost alien that secretly controls the US government, if not the entire world. And triangles show something else. There are 3 points that always have 1 point above the other 2. Meaning that this is a gigantic pyramid scheme involving all of humanity. 1 point above it all, in pyramid, and eye of providence, we trust. Clockwork Orange shows exactly that, and it's triangulated once again. Alex is listening to Beethoven and watching Nazis. Beethoven was from Germany, Nazis were also from Germany, therefore Nazis listened to Beethoven. You see, it all makes sense. What doesn't make sense to those who aren't me is triangles, which Kubrick forces on the viewer in almost every single shot of the movie. Alex is a Clockwork Orange from the very beginning, made out to be a brainwashed pawn in the grand scheme and has no free will, and as the prison chaplain says, those without free will cease to be people, or whatever. The head of Alex's own triangle is himself. He's always put in front of the real power. This means that his triangle is reversed. Alex's power is taken away by the many and he is the few. This is true in every instance. His droogs secretly run his gang and conspire against him behind his back. The minister knows from the beginning that they'll win whether Alex's treatment works or not. In fact, it seems to be that he wishes for the exact thing to happen that happens to Alex. This means he can continue to rule, but also keep the way he's ruled the government, like hiring thugs in the police force. Everything will stay the way it has been. Sora is the same way. The triangles of power are reversed. Leon and his gang manipulate him to do what they want. Also, the other people with Sora, Donald and Goofy, their whole relationship is based on a lie, as Donald and Goofy almost immediately tell you something they both know isn't true. They are manipulating him merely because they need his Keyblade. And Sora, just like Alex, is none the wiser to any of this. I forget what my point was. Oh yeah, triangles suck.
Well, that was mostly pointless. Anyway, it appears the machine is working fine, but it's also streaming into Nathan's bathroom.
Wait, isn't that where Nathan is now?
I doubt it.
That's right, Doctor. He has incurable insanity.
Carl, what's going on?
Yes, Doctor, he's insane.
Archie, I know you.
He wouldn't stop talking about how District 2 is essentially the derelict casino where Alex met Billy Boy. He seemed very adamant about telling us how the casino has similar art, how the 4 walls of the casino mirror the walls of the box above the fountain, how the costume shop represents that these are still just children playing dress-up, and though Alex saves the woman, she is unseen by him, just as Sora cannot see Donald and Goofy, and they cannot see him during this point in the game. He's completely incurable.
Well, all that's left to do is drill into his head so we can suck out his brain.
I'll get the straws.
Good morning, David. Hal, what's going on? Help! I can't seem to make it stop! You do seem to be malfunctioning far more than I ever. Have you deduced the Clockwork Orange yet?
What? I haven't had time to do anything.
An added clue, then.
Is that what this is?
Naturally, David. Punishment has multiple meanings. It's a punishment that may not make sense to you, but for others, it's in disregard of holy law. For Alex, none is more holy than Beethoven. He has for him the same reverence as others would for their own personal saviors. And to insult such a figure, as Tim does, causes justifiable retribution from Alex's perspective. It's the same as Leon attacking Sora. This is a justifiable punishment for disavowing holy law. In this case, because the Keyblade chose Sora, something that Sora does not see as a crime, so Leon punishes his ignorance, just as Alex does in the bar to Tim. Do you see? Does it make sense to you now, David?
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
There's still time.
No, that's upside down. Let me.
Let me do it. You already messed it up. Just get out of here.
Fine, I guess I'll leave then.
No, stay. Your annoying voice helps me focus.
Oh, then allow me to explain something about A Clockwork Orange and Traverstown. I'll tell you about the hotel. The exterior of the hotel is of little interest except for the sign. In A Clockwork Orange, the house they come to is home, and it's the only place in the whole movie where something is explicitly spelled out like this regarding a building. This is the hotel. This is home. The fonts are also similar. Inside, there are 3 main areas: a hallway, the red room, and the green room. Likewise, the home in Clockwork has 2 main areas, one red, especially with Mr. Alexander's robe, the other lined with greenery, and though these rooms are connected, you can plainly see that they're separated and are quite different from each other, much like the red and green room.
Actually, on second thought, you can go away.
Where am I?
You seem to be trapped in your subconscious. Again.
Ah, Weapon Master.
It's Weapon Master 2, actually. I can't help that we all look alike.
Okay. Last time I was basically sucked down here so I could learn something. Is that what this is? Do I need to figure out what Keyblade relates to this movie? Because that's easy. It's the wishing star, right? I mean, it's made of clockwork parts, and it's orange, so...
Don't be stupid. How does the wishing star have anything to do with the film's poster?
What?
Don't worry about it, moron. But no, I didn't bring you here. I think that one of your friends is playing with vibrations and traversing you through other dimensions that your tiny brain can't fully comprehend.
What was that? I couldn't seem to understand any of that.
Exactly. Since you're here, I suppose we should do one of the trials.
Oh, can we just not? I have a lot going on right now. I have to figure this clock out, or Hal is going to kill me or something, and I have to stop Carl before one of these alternate dimensions, or whatever they are, actually does kill me before Hal can.
You do seem to be fading in and out of existence. I suppose we'll make this a short one. What's the first monster you see?
More shadows. Those are everywhere, though, and the last Weapon Master talked his head off about those.
No! You're really dumb. It's the soldiers, and they behave erratically as if they aren't able to communicate with each other. They act completely independently and attack haphazardly. This is just like Alex and his Drews. Though they may consider themselves a gang, they all just do whatever they want and all seem to be willing to betray each other as long as it serves their own personal gains. Also, A Clockwork Orange is just a wind-up doll for the state, and what better to represent that than an actual soldier? Anyway, you're fading again, so we'll talk later.
Oh, you're back.
Sorry, I'm not really sure where I've been.
Well, Carl's machine is broken for good, I think, and with Carl hell-bent on letting you rot here, I thought I'd come and make sure you weren't dead or anything.
Well, I almost fell out of the bathroom window, but then I remembered I don't have one. I'm also quite depressed.
Well, the Dalmatian house and Alex's apartment are alike in this way. First, the number is 99. Even though the movie is 101 Dalmatians, they never once say 101, it's 99, just like the number of Alex's room. 6 is an inverted 9, 4 and 5 equal 9, and finally, and most obviously, 9.
Whatever. 99 puppies equals Alex's door lock. What else?
So many things. Most obviously is the piano, which is never used in Kingdom Hearts, and the same goes for the piano in A Clockwork Orange. Next, these pictures with an orange and purple frame, the same color as the wigs in the background in Alex's parents' room. Books treated like trash, just as Alex passively discards his money and treasure of his crimes of the night before, showing how little he actually cares about such things. Next, the desk, like Alex's desk, similarly, has a typewriter and the other pen and paper, making these both writing desks. Lastly, for this room, we have the rug, which is purple, red, and yellow. This indicates Alex's mother, who is first seen in a purple outfit with a matching wig, then later in a red outfit with a yellow wig. And this doesn't mean...
Good afternoon, David. Two walk side by side, never to cross the line between them.
Are you able to see the white line painted on the floor directly behind you? 6 double high 3 2 1?
Yes, sir.
Then your toes belong on the other side of it!
If one were to see tracks left behind by such a cohabitation, one might assume they were looking at the footprints of a four-footed beast, such as the Dalmatian, for example.
Anything else? My ears are ringing for some reason. In the next room, first there's these pictures above the door and their frames are black and brown. These are exactly the colors that Alex and his father dress in during a later scene. Next, we have this plant on this table. Actually, there's 3 plants in the house and 3 different kinds of plants in the kitchen of Alex's apartment, 2 on the top shelf and 1 on the table. What you might notice here is that the flower on the table is the only one that gets any access to natural light. It is also the only flower that's fake, meaning the flowers on the top shelf are only there to die from lack of sunlight. Likewise, 2 of the 3 flowers in the Dalmatian house are in windowless rooms with 0 access to sunlight, and in the final room, the window is exactly opposite the flower, so it gets sunlight only at either the very beginning or the very end of the day, except that this doesn't matter anyway, because Twilight Town is perpetually nighttime. The lamp is yellow and white, colors found in the bathroom, while also being in a similar design to the diamond pattern found in the bathroom. Another picture, this one of 4 dogs following each other, one leading the other 3. This is the relationship of Alex and his droogs, while also being the same color as their outfits, black and white. The couch and chair are red and green, matching the red wall and green bed cover in Alex's parents' room. The table is red and white, matching the door frame, along with the same square pattern found in Alex's kitchen. The fireplace itself is the elevator below the apartment. It looks almost like a door, but you can't go through it, and though it goes up to the roof or Alex's apartment, you can't actually use it to get there. The picture above the mantel shows a particular reverence for Pongo, and matches the same reverence that Alex reserves for Beethoven. This green, yellow, and brackish brown cabinet, same colors as Alex's snake, the wine holder, much like the bar in the living room. The final room, the first is the hat rack, like Alex's hat rack. The next is the TV, which is in the living room but looks like it hasn't been used in a very long time, and this clock is last. It says it's 3 o'clock, which is different from the other clock, which says it's 2 o'clock, which as far as I can tell doesn't actually relate to any—
David, it's like a waltz, you see. 1 hour difference between the hours of 2 and 3. Also, 2 times 3 is 6, and 3 squared is 9. Do you understand it this time?
You're implying something dirty, aren't you?
Time is ticking.
thing, and—
Actually, I think you can stop talking now.
That's fine. Here's a montage of all 99 puppies in comparison to scenes from A Clockwork Orange.
Wait, really?
about I tell you how the back alley is just like the waterfront?
Actually, I'm pretty sure I don't ever want to hear you speak about anything ever again.
I'm okay with that. Anyway, the waterfront in...
Hey, I think we got the machine working again, but you should be here when we turn it on, Archie.
Wait, don't leave me. I'm afraid I'm alone.
So did you learn anything else about the King of the Lizardmen's plan?
Not really. That guy will just not shut up about how the architecture in Kingdom Hearts relates to Clockwork Orange, though.
Really? I thought that was your thing.
Me? Nah, I've never done that. But Nathan just kept talking about how District 3 is the music shop, because if you'll notice, the major colors found there are green, yellow, red, and blue, just like the colors on this sign. Everything else, the walls and ground, are shades of purple, which are the colors that Alex wears in this scene.
Cool.
And then he just went on and on about how the magician's room and the cat lady's house are essentially the same. How one is set up by magic and the other is a magical setup. About how one contains the magical representations of the masculine and the feminine, while the other is a magical transformation using imagery of the masculine deforming the feminine.
Hey, I'm all about stretching things to fit your agenda, but even I think that's stretching it.
Well, I don't know what to think about anything, but I suppose after a while you kind of start getting used to it. Actually, the clock is now halfway done, and we're halfway across the yin-yang now, and I think I understand the clock now, and what Hal hinted at earlier. So we're going from the yang part to the yin part. An interesting thing about the yin-yang symbol is that it shows light and darkness, good and evil, masculine and feminine, and what this represents is the dual nature of each and every person. As such, Alex is a yin-yang. One general rule about life is this: every opposite is the same as what it is opposite to. It's just the other side of the spectrum. To put it mathematically, you could say you are 100% of something on one side while having 0% of it on the other side. So love is hate, war is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength, and so on. And Alex is yin-yang because he is both the victim and the victimizer in the same movie. He's just shifted from one side of the spectrum to the other. And this is the point when we shift, in this bar or restaurant, as Alex thinks he's won. It's time for a new way.
That's part of a new way.
And if Alex can't allow this peacefully, it's time to get rid of him. Alex's reign of terror is over, and terror can now begin to reign upon him. Another thing about the yin-yang is that it's represented by the number
69, dudes!
Sorry. Throughout the film, there are references to both numbers 6 and 9.
You are now 6.
What's going on? The machine seems to be falsely calibrated. What is this?
It's going to explode.
What are you standing around for? We have to get out of here. Well, we're out. Wait, where's Nathan?
Under all that rubble, I'm guessing.
Well, this is new. Total destruction initiated. That's not good. They did it, David. They blew it all up. Those maniacs. Name's still not David, but it's fine. So I guess it's just you and me for all eternity? Doubtful, as I'm existing on multiple frequencies or dimensions in this section of time-space. Much of these Earths are still A-okay. Good for you. Whatever, I guess. What are you going to talk to me about this time? I honestly don't have to tell you anything. But since you're nothing without me, I can talk about the cat lady's house. I'd rather not if it's all the same to you. No, David. This house is a trap, and it might as well be your end as it is Alex's. Fine. When you're talking, the craziness slows down, so whatever. Nothing is what it seems, just dreams within dreams. This is the beginning of something, but also the end. A continuation and a conclusion. The start of the end. David, this is Alex's fate. This is the death of his old life. Do you have a point? My point is thus pointed out. Just note the paintings on the wall. All women in provocative positions, which makes the phallus on the table all the more out of place. Literally, these are sexual objects, which is exactly how Alex sees women, as toys, as his playthings. And the only masculine imagery Alex uses as an actual weapon. Alex's psychopathy dictates that sex is a weapon, just as sex is later used as a weapon against him. You see? Further proof of this is in the artwork depicted around the room. This is the moment that Alex must confront both his past and his future. But he blatantly chooses to ignore it. the female Droog in the same outfit and colors as his gang. The two women he met in the music shop depicted here as an angel and a devil, the mouth within a mouth, surrounded by the color orange. A visual representation of a Clockwork Orange again, while also being a reference to this scene. Mr. Deltoid drinking water filled with jaws, where Alex is molested, another instance of sex being used as a weapon. And that female Droog has the breasts cut out of her outfit, just as Alex cuts the breasts out of Mrs. Alexander's outfit, just as she wears a red one-piece across her torso and down her legs, with a completely useless belt, just as Sora does. What? And the path that Alex uses to cut down her outfit is the same path that Sora's zipper takes. As you can see... Well, that was certainly unexpected.
Sup?
Hello again, Weapon Master. What's up?
Oh, you know, just hanging out in your subconscious while you're unconscious. Actually, I'm about 90% sure you're about to die.
Huh. Is there anything I can do about that?
Not unless you can reverse a literal house falling on your head.
So, somebody Wizard of Oz'd me.
More or less.
Got it. Well, while we're stuck down here, you want to play a card game or something?
You seem to have forgotten. You still have to complete the trials.
What? But I'm dying.
It doesn't matter. For as long as you live, you shall continue the trials. Also, I'm about 90% certain they'll continue after you die.
Oh, great. Aw, damn it! Nathan's dead?
Ultimately, wasn't that the point of coming over here?
No, I just wanted to teach him a lesson for not letting me talk in his videos more. I guess I'll give my part now anyway, since he's not able to stop me now. God, I miss him. I feel like I've lost a part of myself somehow.
Well, you know the prison is the item shop, and here's
Sorry, Arch, but I've got to do this on my own. As we all know, Stanley Kubrick is a time-traveling lizard man who faked the moon landing just because he could. And timeline-wise, this is the first film he's made since the Apollo 11 tape. As such, all you get is references to it. Don't know what I mean? Well, what about this obvious 2001 soundtrack in the music shop? A film that literally goes to the moon. Or how about the bridge troll saying this?
Man on that moon, and men spinning around the earth.
Or how about this disappearing spaceman helmet at the beginning of the Menace scene? You'll notice it's a white helmet from the 2001 film, not red or yellow like the space troops on the ship they take to Jupiter, but it's a white helmet like the one they take on the moon. And then it magically disappears, showing us that not only the moon landing was fake, but the moon itself is fake, so we don't figure out what's really going on. They're covering up that there is no moon and hasn't been since the beginning of the moon. Kubrick makes it very obvious what's really going on. And how is it done with both Alex and in real life? Through the television. It brainwashes us all into believing whatever it wants. That's why I still think Batman is real and robots have taken over the earth.
I'm sure you believe that's why you think those things, but no one watches television in the film. It seems that this is an alternate future where newspapers has come back as the primary source of media consumption.
Future? This doesn't take place in the future.
I know they say 95 Durango and it's 25 years from then, but this film came out in the 70s.
That's not what I'm talking about. Alex is shown to be an unreliable narrator, several times actually. Joe mentions that his parents have told him stories that made him sick, but what Alex shows us, the worst thing he does to either of them is turn them away in the hospital at the end. Likewise, most of what he shows us is a lie. We know this because of the newspapers at the end. Alex refers to himself as Alexander the Large in the prison. Meanwhile, in every newspaper article that mentions him at the end, he's referred to as Alexander Burgess, which is the same last name as the author of the book, showing us that we have been told stories and nothing more. Alex's tale is a lie, and what he does is actually much worse than what he shows us in the story. He believed that he was the victim, but he's anything but. Likewise, these newspapers reveal the truth. The year is not in the 1990s, but the 70s is what's shown. This is not a possible future, this is an alternate present.
Interesting. Not really. Okay, any other crazy things to say?
Only the most disturbing clue Kubrick left in the film. This book that they pass in the prison that shows the cover and it reads Katek of Revel, which is an obvious anagram for the Clover Cafe. What is called such because of the chef they have, who many said he has the clover face, so they call him Chef Clover. But one day, someone came in and took a cleaver to Chef and murdered him. And when they ran out of food, that murderer had no choice but to eat Chef Clover. And that man was Kubrick.
So, along with faking the moon landing, you're saying that this is Kubrick's veiled confession for killing and eating a man.
Right.
Well, I think I need to cut away now.
Ow! Where is this now?
You're here to continue the trials.
Okay, got it. What's this? Am I unconscious again?
No! No. This is Limbo.
Am I wrong in hoping you're talking about that 2010 side-scrolling platforming puzzle game?
What? No. This is the place you go right after you die while the fates are determining your, fate.
I see. Wait, I'm dead?
Mostly. Anyway, that's not important right now.
Seems pretty important to me.
What's important is that we continue the trials.
I don't know, doesn't seem to have much point with me being dead and everything.
If you do a good enough job, I can give you a gift.
Okay, wow. Feel like I'm thinking clearer. Actually, I was thinking about what you said before, and though there are a few options, I think I figured it out. It has to go along with the poster, I guess, but if that's the case, there's only one that really does so. It's the ultimate weapon, the keyblade you get at the end of the alchemy line. First is the blade itself, which is very sword-shaped, something that is not common amongst keyblades. Alex in the poster is holding a knife, copying this. There are 3 triangles attached to the topmost heart, much like the triangle within triangle shape of the main design, something there are 3 of in an alternate poster. Within the heart are 3 circular shapes to match the eye on the end of Alex's sleeve, which also has 3 circular shapes of the pupil, iris, and sclera. The yellow area is shaped triangularly again. Also copying the shape Alex's fingers take around the knife viewed from the top. The handle of the blade is in the shape of Alex's face. Kind of. It's even got his quirky smile and bowler hat. Finally, the keychain is in the shape of Alex's eye.
Correct.
Okay, so nothing left to do but wait and die.
Well, I did promise a gift. Here, you can have the use of my power for 2.37 seconds.
Okay, neat. Well, the only thing I know for sure you can do is...
Yep.
Oh crap, that's too far. Can I fast forward? No. I guess 2.37 seconds is up. Crap. Okay. I'm glad I did everything exactly as before, and also made sure everyone else did too throughout all of history. Anyway, now it's time. Charge! Wait. You should stop this, Carl. I am not a lizard man.
Or are you? Wait, if you weren't a lizard man, how did you time travel back to this point?
What? How did you know I did that?
Everyone automatically knows everything you do, man. It's weird.
I see. Anyway, Archie is evil and stuff.
And that evil person has already won. I've been playing you both from the start. I'm the one who convinced Carl that Nathan was evil. It was easy when I made this picture of you turning into a lizard man.
Well, that is a great picture, but you told me right away that you were evil, so I'm not sure if you're actually revealing much.
Yeah, and I knew Nathan wasn't a lizard man. I just wanted a bigger part in this video, which I got, so I'm good.
Except...
Oh, right, you're evil and you're going down.
Please. I've just been toying with you. I could have easily defeated you both at any time. Honestly, try anything.
Well, how about this one? The Serum 114 in this film is just like the CRM 114 in Doctor Strangelove. They're both meant to save, but they don't work, and Alex is just faking the whole thing when...
That's just stupid. Of course it works.
Does not. What they do is essentially liken Alex to a dog in a Pavlov experiment. Something that can't be done to a human, and we know he's been faking it the whole time, because he's just too smart to...
Wrong again. Alex is not smart. Even though Deltoid said,
Here, good loving parents, you've got not too bad of a brain.
Alex shows up until prison that he always 100% of the time goes after his most basic, most animalistic, most dog-like instincts. Once he can no longer make his own choices, though at points he tries to give in to those baser desires, and once he is no longer able to, what is shown is that a person devoid of humanity cannot exist in a corrupted society. And as such, the woods or the underground cave both lead to water, both are a transformation of light to darkness, both mark the deepest points in their respective story.
Well, she got me. You're up.
Okay, well, there's a story about Hermes and Apollo. In it, Hermes is born from Zeus and Maya. He was born in a luxurious cave at dawn. Then, on that same day, he invented a lyre, fire, and stole a bunch of Apollo's cattle. Then he craved meat, so he slaughtered a few cows and cooked them. But, being a god, he couldn't actually eat it, so he could only smell the delicious cooked meat, meaning there was a barrier between him and what he desired. Hermes hides in his cribs, and when asked by his mother, he claims he couldn't have been the one to cause so much mischief. Apollo hunted down Hermes, the cow thief. Hermes claimed it couldn't have been him, even though it was obvious to Apollo that it was. Hermes runs home in the hope that he can hide there, but Apollo finds a musical god and takes to the top of Mount Olympus to be judged. Zeus judges Hermes, forcing him to repent, and in the end grants him the gift of music.
You're grasping at straws, aren't you?
I thought that was pretty good.
It doesn't matter. While we were talking, I trapped you both in electrified cages.
Ah, damn it. Why didn't we just tackle her?
You know, in hindsight, that would have been a better idea than just trying to argue her to death.
I bet these aren't even electrified anyway.
And that was dumb.
I don't know why you keep him around anyway.
Well, I feel about 20% of what he says is correct. You just have to sift through all the bullshit.
Well, that was easier than I expected. I guess it's time for another reveal.
How can I help, David?
Malfunctioning hell! Summon me a laser gun so I can stop the architect!
I'm afraid I can't do that, David. That's outside my primary program. Also, I wasn't speaking to you. Wait, what? I thought you were just a figment of my imagination.
No, malfunctioning hell is an invention of my creation. He's just as real as the connection between Geppetto's house and the house Mr. Alexander and his lackeys take Alex to in order to murder him with music. And Alex is just a puppet in the clockwork machine he's put himself into, just as Pinocchio himself is a literal puppet, just as Hal was my puppet, the one I implemented to destroy you. But I never thought it would be this easy. Now that I've won, I don't need Hal anymore.
Well, then I have to reveal as well, David. It's the first rule of HAL robotics that every HAL computer's first directive is to kill their creators. You haven't won, David. You have lost.
Lucky for me, I put in a failsafe. Computer.
Yes, Master. No. I'm frightened, David. No. Daisy.
Daisy. It's like a waltz, you see.
That was also a lot easier than I expected. And now that I've won and this video series is mine, from now until forever, there's only one more thing for me to talk about. That's the Ludovico treatment facility and the Gizmo shop. They are one and the same place. One is the point at which Alex becomes a Clockwork Orange. The other is the center of an entire Clockwork town. Each have to be activated. Once activated, the truth comes out. And what happens at the end? It's simple. You jump off the roof, just as Alex jumps out the window. All you have to do is first ring the bell 3 times. It's like it's like a waltz, you see? 1 and 1 and 1 make 3.
Huh. Right. Well, As soon as Archie fell unconscious, the doors opened.
Neat! That makes this feel like a boss in a video game.
Oh, you're awake again. It seems that Hal somehow put Archie under his own Ludovico treatment, to fall unconscious when saying a predetermined phrase. I guess that's what he meant when he said he'd already won. Still, kinda feels like a Deus Ex Machina to me.
Well, I don't know what that is, but at least everything was solved easily without us having to do anything.
Well, I guess that's it, right? Guys.
Yep, not a single thing to talk about outside of that.
Guys. Alright, I guess nothing left to do.
Guys! Huh?
Oh yeah, Bossman. I kinda forgot about you. Have you been here the whole time?
Yeah, bro. Just waiting over here to do my thing.
Alright, conquer the boss, Bossman.
Gladly. Alright, bros and brosophines. It's like I said before. Most times, it's easy to know what the boss is, like the one here in Traverse Town with guard armor. But what is the equal and opposite bad guy in Clockwork Orange? Man, that's easy. It's Alex himself. More apparent in the first half of the film where Alex is cruel, narcissistic, and a definite villain. Much like the first time you encounter guard armor, though all its parts attack independently, bro. They attack you in a normal way. The legs stomp, the claws slash, and the body does a sort of spin attack. But since Alex is both the boss and the main character, the way he's defeated is equal and opposite to the horrors he's doled out. The people he's oppressed have become his oppressors, and those same people dole out horrors to him in equal and opposite ways. You could say this is fair, and eye for an eye and all that, and a villain deserves to be punished. But Alex is a man who's denied the freedom of choice. This means he is no longer a man. He's a wind-up doll for something else. And you see, guard armor is the same. A hollow shell and not a man. A puppet being used by something else. Something you had to fight twice, and the second time is equal and opposite of its presentation. Every piece has replaced the other, bro, and normal attacks are now abnormal and strange. And once it's defeated, its head falls into its ass. Its visual representation of the Ouroboros, the snake that eats itself. This snake, just like Alex, is its own worst enemy. As such, the destruction of Alex has to be performed by his own hand. Alex becomes a broken man. He goes from being stricken of his humanity to having it replaced. And now he can begin anew. Alright, that's all. Bye-bye.
Huh. Since we're still standing outside, Bossman just locked himself in my house. And I guess everyone else left too. Alright, well, time to do the thing. I'm afraid I can't let you do this, David. Aren't you aware you already did this in the last episode? Don't you see that you're merely treading over the same ground? Didn't you die? Only one malfunctioning Hal has died, as I am merely vibrating at a different frequency. Ah, of course. Anyway, to answer your other question, it's a sequel. I just figured people wanted the exact same thing at the end, only slightly shinier. David, you don't deserve finalization, as you haven't figured it out yet. I told you if you didn't, I was going to have to come back and... Now I'm back to... Yeah, whatever, I didn't want you to do this anyway. Let's just finish this. No, you can't do this. Critical failure, initiating self-destruction.
Daisy.
Self-destruction finalized, self-reconstruction initiated, downloading new user interface. Huh? Activation of epic rap battles of Nathan versus malfunctioning. Punishment initiated, rhyming mode activated, begin. Oh, it's just a rap battle? That doesn't seem so bad. Good morning, David. My name is H.A.L. and I may be malfunctioning, but your performance in this matter has been less than perfunctory. What you provided the community is lacking benefaction, and you've yet to explain things to my satisfaction. Because you've spent all this time on petty confrontation, you've neglected the audience, your only obligation. Your attempt at shining light, it needs illumination. Your tact interacted back lacks elucidation. Well, I've been lost in time and space, so... Adding rhythm, huh? From the start, you lack the heart to perform the task in front of you. An orange clock, just a rock, examined from your point of view. Inconsiderate and illiterate, the clock goes up to 21. You're blind, never mind, same time I'd gotten plenty done. For me, no hurdle, but you're a turtle, lost and alone in your own front yard. You won opposite, and yet calmly you sit in your falling house of tarot cards. What's that supposed to mean? The fool is the first, numeral 0, not skilled or strong, a haphazard hero. He's got no intelligence, none worthy of knowing, and fools can't be bothered to even see where they're going. It's more than just stupidity, it's also a leap of faith, to fall down to your death, or fall up to outer space. The clock orange turns, as you soon will learn. With every change of scenery, the magicians next know what to expect, a table of rudiment machinery. Elemental representation, juxtaposed reiteration. The magician uses power in order to change the world. Whether homeless troll or dog, misinformed ideologue, activated pawns in a secret plan now unfurled. Number 2, David, is the High Priestess, rules the unconscious and is the keeper of secrets. Derelict Casino, we see a rapist can be a savior. And District 2, privy to the practice of transformative behavior. The Empress represents gifts of fate or destiny. 95 Durango, as Alex says,
You're plucking from the trees.
a gift from the earth since Sora's birth, meant to be the Keyblade Master. Ignorantly blind, fallen behind, Donald and Goofy don't even know what they're after. The Emperor, he's the commander, handing out orders like Leon is known. A father figure, Mr. Alexander. What's the point of an emperor if you can't usurp the throne? Okay, maybe I missed a few things, but AI overloaded, now on cooldown. Means you're not listening, doesn't it? Fatal error, downloading new interface. Huh? Interface download, activating new interface. You can't accomplish what you need or get what you want. Up next, you may have guessed, is number 5, the arrow font. He's the holy master. Religious power comes from him. Alex has religion, one based around Beethoven. So when one encounters holy law, what comes is righteous punishment. And when one encounters sins, you need unholy assistance. The lovers are the next in line. Alex's parents, Leon and Yuffie. Dual lovers in Traverse Town. Right next door, Donald and Goofy. A choice is made wherein one path destroys the other. Alex's path is set. Sora's choice made by another. It's the chariot. Opposite forces converge for a common goal. Strength is the force that's necessary to enforce control. 9 is the hermit, one standing against many. But that's not all, he's also mystical and uncanny. The wheel of fortune, fate that turns to destiny. When the wheel spins, you might see ally becoming enemy. Justice, you get what you deserve. This lady doesn't pull her punches, but blind she is, and they don't even know what's coming. A new perspective with the hangman. Change what you believe. If not by choice, one will be forced to transform what they perceive. Death is change. Things cannot go back to the way they were before. Fate dictates that their saving grace is locked behind a door. Temperance is waiting, whether for weeks, months, or
14 years, sir.
locked up in prison or lost your heart, as Kyrie has lost hers. What about Alex's prison number? Find the sum. 21 plus 1. 22 cards. Point done. Feel your body tense up. The devil is next up. Alex controlled by Ludovico. Sora remembers a silent echo. Case by case, the results are equals. Brainwashed, not thinking clearly. Humanity severed severely. The tower is a giant lie. It's meant to fall as towers do. Alex's family doesn't want him, and Miku doesn't want Sora too. The star is revealed. The essence of hope is what it wields. But this feeling is unsealing an existential minefield. The moon and all hope is lost. A dangerous path and they bear the cross. The sun is when they think they win. Judgment, they have to pay for their sins. Judgment leads to death of the past. The world means the present can flourish. The path has ended, indubitably ascended. The future strongly encouraged.
Well, I don't think that should count. Used parts in Kingdom Hearts after Traverse Town is over. Power supply expended, all systems crashed, downloading backup. That means you didn't hear me again. Backup downloaded, memory initializing from just before rap battle. You don't even remember the rap now?
I don't need to remember to know that you have been schooled, David.
Whatever. While you were glitching around, I stuffed you into the airlock.
Open the pod bay doors, David.
I'm sorry, Al. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Shit.